Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of Indian television's most heart-wrenching love stories. The story of Saras and Kumud, a tale where letters spark hope, mistakes destroy futures, marriages become prisons, and love refuses to die. This is a story of two souls pulled together by destiny, torn apart by choices, and tested by pain. Again and again settle in, because this is a journey of heartbreak, courage, and love that refuses to surrender. Before they even meet, Saras and Kumud's lives are connected through letters. Their families arrange their marriage, but these letters become more than introductions. They are windows into each other's hearts. Saras, raised in wealth and dignity, carries emotional scars he hides behind silence. His mother's tragic past shadows him, shaping the man he has become. He writes carefully, with thought and depth, revealing more than he speaks. Kumud, confident and intelligent, writes with hope and honesty. Her words carry warmth, curiosity, and quiet strength. Letter after letter, they begin to understand each other. Saras learns how Kumud thinks before she speaks. Kumud sees how Saras guards his emotions. They laugh, tease, share dreams, and reveal fears. There is a sacredness in their connection, a love blooming in silence, untouched by the chaos of the real world. And for a moment, it feels like destiny has chosen perfectly. But just as the families prepare for celebrations, Saras makes a choice that will change everything. He refuses the marriage, not in person, not with an explanation. A cold, absolute rejection. The village whispers, the families panic, and Kumud, once full of expectation, feels humiliated. She doesn't cry aloud, she doesn't beg, she simply breaks silently. Because she doesn't just lose an arranged marriage, she loses the man she had begun to trust with her heart. Saras convinces himself he's doing the right thing, that he's protecting her from his own family's shadows, but the truth is simple. He hurt her deeply. And for Kumud, this rejection becomes a turning point. She vows never to give Saras the power to hurt her again. She moves forward, even though her heart remains trapped in the memory of their letters. Days turn into weeks. Saras begins to understand the weight of what he has done. The silence after his rejection presses on him. He misses her letters, her voice, her warmth. Every quiet night forces him to face a painful truth. He regrets everything. Driven by guilt, longing, and the need to make amends, he travels to her hometown, a traditional village of open courtyards, morning bells, and warm, familiar faces. But fate has moved on. Kumud, determined to protect her dignity, has agreed to another marriage. Saras watches from a distance, realizing the bridge he burned may never be rebuilt. The love that could have been perfect has been shattered, and life has placed a new obstacle between them. Kumud marries Pramad, a man who seems refined and charming on the surface, but hides a darkness she could never anticipate. This is not a marriage. It is a cage. Pramad doesn't want partnership. He doesn't want respect. He wants control. Drunk nights, harsh words, humiliation, and isolation become Kumud's daily reality. Her laughter fades, her spirit dims, and the girl who once wrote letters full of hope now survives in silence. Despite her efforts to uphold marriage, nothing she does earns his respect or love, and just when it seems she must endure alone, destiny intervenes. Saras walks back into her life, not as a lover, but as Pramad's secretary. Kumud freezes the first time she sees him. Saras freezes too. Years of pain stand between them. Saras sees every bruise, every trembling hand, every silent tear she tries to hide. Kumud sees guilt in his eyes, regret, helplessness, and love that never died. Every interaction becomes a silent battlefield. Saras protects her without overstepping. Kumud pushes him away to avoid chaos. Pramad grows suspicious. The household whispers, tension thickening the air. Every glance, every word carries unspoken emotion. Saras finally understands the true consequence of his past mistake. He didn't just reject her. He pushed her into a marriage that threatened to destroy her completely. As Pramad's cruelty escalates, Saras becomes her invisible shield. He calms her during his outbursts, catches her when she falters, and shields her from the worst of his wrath. He never forces his love. He simply protects her. And yet, Pramad senses the connection. His insecurity grows dangerous. The house becomes a war zone. Anger, jealousy, and manipulation everywhere. Every day tests Kumud's endurance and Saras's patience. Every small act of kindness or protection feels monumental, as if the fate of their love balances on the edge of each moment. After enduring endless humiliation, Kumud finally realizes she cannot change Pramad. She cannot sacrifice her dignity. She cannot destroy herself for a hollow marriage. With quiet strength, she decides to leave, not secretly, not in fear, but boldly. She walks away with her head held high. Saras supports her silently, not as a savior, but as someone who finally understands her power. The divorce becomes her declaration of freedom, reclaiming her voice, her worth, and her future. Every step she takes is a step into her own strength. Even after Pramad is gone, Saras and Kumud do not immediately return to each other. Their past looms, scars, fear, societal judgment, and family concerns. Slowly, they rebuild their connection through late-night conversations, quiet support, and shared memories. Their love returns not in fireworks, but in healing. Each moment feels like a wound finally beginning to close, as Saras uncovers family secrets, a lost brother, buried betrayals, the truth of his mother's tragedy. He grows into a man capable of facing the past. Kumud becomes his anchor, the calm in his storms. And finally, after surviving heartbreak, abuse, and years of silence, they choose each other. Not because of arrangement, not because of pressure, but because love endured, and destiny finally allowed them to be together. Their union becomes a symbol of survival, forgiveness, and a love that refused to die hand in hand. They stand together, understanding how precious their bond truly is. And that is the story of Saras and Kumud, a journey of mistakes with consequences, a marriage that nearly destroyed a woman, and a love that refused to surrender. It reminds us that love is not always easy. Destiny can be cruel, and sometimes we must lose everything to understand what truly belongs to us. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and tell us which drama you want us to cover next.